Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Chronicles of Sovik. We are back in Duskwallow Marsh to do some more questing. Now, if you watched the last episode, which is a very short episode, we got flying. So we actually reached level 30 in the preceding episode, went and got our flying, and I kind of suggested, and I've suggested over a few episodes now, that what I was going to do off recording, off this sort of YouTube series, was go and catch up on the mining, get some stuff on the jewel crafting done, so some sort of housekeeping, so to speak, away from recording, away from the questing, and to do that, which I've done. Now, as a result, literally by flying around doing some mining and getting the mining up to pretty much 300 and getting the jewel crafting up, we have gone from level 30 to level 34. Now, I have done no more quests, as you can see. All the quests are still here, but we still need to do. Still got one here I need to hand in. But yeah, so we've gone up to 34. So let me just show you what we've done on this. So professions, mining is now up to level 291. Kind of reached that difficult stage now where I'm flying around Winter Spring, looking for thorium, trying to get, the rich thorium nodes, which will give you a potential, as a green potential gain in the skill point. So we're kind of there at the moment. That's where we've got with the mining. And with the jewel crafting, we are at level 300. So I've got it all the way to the very top. Now, whilst we've still got this Brutosaur on next to us, I'll show you what I've got on the auction house before he disappears. So I've got a few bits and pieces on here.
Needs to be at least 2
Okay.
centuries old.
Now I'm going to start by buyout price. In fact, it's not going to change it. Let's see if I can scroll right down to the bottom. I have got on there, I'll quickly show you this Reigns of the Thundering Ruby Cloud Serpent. Now I've just bought that. That was on there for 12 grand. I don't know if you had a chance to quickly see that. That's on for 12 grand. I've just bought that off someone on Trade Chat whilst I was sat on my laptop through the living room. And I bought it off him for 10,000 gold. And I've listed it for 12,000. So if you see a sale coming up in the next sort of few days, and I'm going to get maybe 11,500 for it, that's the reason why. Someone was trying to sell it in Trade Chat for 12,000. And I managed to go and buy it for, sorry, he bought 12,500. I bought it for 10,000, and I've just relisted it to try and make a bit of quick profit. If I can't sell that Reigns of a Thundering Ruby Cloud Serpent, I'm going to use it myself, because at the moment my flying mount, I only bought this on the last episode, is this Blue Wind Rider, which is, fair enough, it's very functional, does a job, but it's not the most attractive mount that you're ever going to see. So we've got the money. If we don't sell it, I might use it myself. However, the plan is to sort of try and flip it and make a bit of profit on that. Okay, now we have got quite a bit of sales in the mailbox. In fact, let's just cover the professions again before we do the mailbox. So the mining. How did I get the mining skills right up to where we needed to be? So the first thing I did, because I needed to get a load of copper, is I did one loop around Mulgore, which is around Thunderbluff. So I did one loop around here for copper. So one loop around that gave me enough copper ore, and then smelting the copper ore done as well. That boosted up my mining skills. From there, I went into where is it? Ferrolas, and I did, as you can kind of see, almost a loop around there. I didn't go into this middle area where Direhorn is. I kind of did a loop around there. For iron ore, again smelting the iron ore, and that boosted us up again. I then went into Felwood. I did one loop around there looking for Mithril, which boosted us up again. And then finally I went into Winter Spring, and I think I've done 2 loops around Winter Spring looking for thorium to boost it up again. So the reason why the experience has shot up from level 30 to 34 is due to a couple of reasons. The first reason is all of these zones and all these little areas within the zones I hadn't been into before. So every time I went to like Timbermore Hold, down here, to this lake, I was gaining 500 points of experience because every single time I'd never been there before. And also, the ore itself, I was getting a good chunk of experience, like 500 experience for each piece of ore I was picking up, whether it was in Winter Spring, or whether it was down in Mulgore as well. So that all stacked up. Now, where I am in terms of picking up ore now, each time I pick up a piece of ore, it's more like 200 experience. So it's not making that much of a big difference at this sort of later stage. So we're level 34. Calendar itself is really a level sort of 1 to level 30 continent now, with the exception of the cataclysm zones like Mount Hyjal, Alden, etc. But we're now getting less experience per node, which is good, which means I can carry on going and collecting the ore, and it's not really throwing the leveling out too much. So that's kind of what we did with the mining. So the mining's still not quite there yet. I still need to try and get it up to 300 at some point. There's no urgent rush to do that. What I really need to do, which I can't do at the moment because I need to go into a dungeon, is start getting the dark iron ore, which is in like black rock and etc. But we haven't done any dungeons yet, so it is what it is. But I've used the ore. I mean, I worked on the jewel crafting, so let me show you what's kind of gone on with that. And now I've made a number of these rings and necklaces, various bits and pieces to boost myself up. I have spent a little bit of gold buying some of the ores or some of the stones, bits and pieces, especially some of the jewels that I needed to boost up as well. But it's not a great deal, you know, maybe, I don't know, 500, 600, 700, but we'll get all that money back. So we have kind of done that. Now some of these rings as well, I've made quite a lot of. So if let's find one like this aquamarine ward, for instance. If you hover on that, you can see I've still got 29 of those on the auction house. So I've made quite a lot of these rings. Some of them I've got 1 or 2 on the auction house. Some of them I've got a few more on there because I've boosted. You know, I've had to make lots to get the jewel crafting at 300. But we'll make some progress on that. So when we go to the mailbox, you'll see some of the rewards already, and it's been quite successful so far. So bags pretty much empty, you know, usual sort of stuff up here. So let's have a look, see what we've got. So again, we'll start from the bottom. Now the first thing you can see is I've got 30,000 gold in there. Now the majority of that is come from these two, the replica pieces. So again, I use the Dark Moon fishing tokens for, you know, the prize tickets you can get to buy these. They cost 55 tickets each. Most of those coming from that treasure map quest, and I've turned that around. I sold the replica Dread Mist wraps and the Dread Mist sandals for 12,000 each. They went within a couple of days of me throwing them on there, which is great. You know, I think they were down at 15,000, 18,000 in the end, and I sold both of mine for 12,000. It's not something I'm going to learn. There's loads of other appearances I need to learn before I need to get this, so that's great. So I sold them, as I said, 11,000 each for both of those. So let's start at the bottom and work our way up again. Again, I'll try and skim over a few bits and pieces. So that was a vendor flip. That was the legacy of our tailoring bits and pieces. Some thick leather we had kicking around. Okay, so let's count the rings as we go through this. So that's a solid bronze ring, sold for pretty much 50 gold. That's 1. That's another ring, 2. We sold some surplus iron ore we didn't need. Small legs, we would have picked them up somewhere along the route, maybe even in this zone. Oily blackmouth is fishing. Old tailoring bits and pieces. That's another ring. That's 3. That's a spare jewel crafting recipe, which we have already got 1 of already. That's another ring. 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 rings sold already. The elixir of water walking. Can't remember where I got that from. That was only 18 gold. Again, getting rid of these enchant gloves, greater agility. We've got a stack of. Some iron bars, which I made, we didn't need. Sold them. Herbs. That's another ring. So that's 7. Steel bars, didn't need. Golden dragon ring. That's 8. Okay, so £40 grouper and the £47 grouper. Just remember that at the moment, they're fish. I'll cover that when I get onto the cooking side. So that's a couple of fish I've sold for 100 gold each. 45 belt of the Aurora. That's I would have found that, or a vendor flip, and that's just been turned around, so it's a piece of transmog. Recipe Dragon Breath Chili, I think I bought from, in fact, this village, and I've managed to turn that around, and maybe the Carrion Surprise. Tailoring, some more cooking recipes I've probably bought around here again, so vendor flips. Steel bars, which are, again, probably surplus what we need, we use for our jewel crafting. The raw spotted yellowtail, which is a fish, they went for just over 40 gold each, probably somewhere in the region of 45 gold each. Again, I'll cover that towards the end. Arcane crystals, which I would have picked up while I was in the thorium mining up in Winter Spring. I was selling them for roughly about 250 gold a piece. That's 11 of them. Some more fish. Some more fish. Fish. Some more Dark Moon Firewaters. 75 gold pop there. Tailoring. Dark Moon Dagamores. That's another ring. So I believe that's ring 9, 10, 11. More enchants. What's this behind me? It looks like a Brutosaur. More Dagamores. Silk Hood, I think that's ring 12, the Aquamarine Ward. The Delicate Arcanite Converter is a vendor flip recipe. I probably picked up in Winter Spring. More old tailoring bits and pieces. The Fox Hollow Robes, I think I bought them off the auction house. More tailoring, another vendor recipe I flipped there. That's another ring, so I think that might be up to 13 rings now. More fish, more arcane crystals, more Dark Moon Firewater. This one's an interesting one. Again, the raw white scale salmon, I'll cover that. But that one fish went for 125 gold. And what have we got there? Some more glove enchants, another ring, so I think that might be ring 14. So let's take all of that gold right now. So that's 30 grand. So the cooking. So whilst I was, I've obviously done the jewel crafting, I've done the mining as well. I've been working on cooking in the background, and I made a bit of a push for it. Now we've got the flying as well to make things a little bit easier. In fact, is that Brutusaur just sat there? If he's going to sit there, I'll have a quick look and show what we've got on here as well. So this is what we've got in terms of the auctions. More tailoring bits and pieces. Down here you can see by terms of prices. Look how many rings I've got there. Ring of Twilight Shadows, Ruby Pendants of Fire. A lot of those. Onslaught rings, Bronze Torque there. These Aquamarine Wards, I've just thrown them all on the auction house. Emerald Line Rings, Citron Ring of Rapid Healing, the Blazing Citron Ring, Solid Bronze Ring, Engraved True Silver Ring, Ring of Silver Might, Golden Dragon Ring, a handful of these True Silver Commander's Rings, True Silver Healing Rings, Golden Ring of Power, and he's just disappeared. So you can see there's an assortment of various sort of low level, let's say level 1 to level 30 rings, which I've sort of put on the auction house. And we've sold 14 in the first sort of 24 hours, which is really, really good. So let's talk about cooking. Let's have a quick look at that. So our cooking is now up to level 300. And the way I managed to get some of that is some of these higher level recipes, and this is a good gold making tip if anyone's still following me, is like this spotted yellowtail. You know, they are currently going for, ignore where it says 1 silver, I've got some on there already. You can see I've sold 5 for 43 gold each. I've got another 36 on the auction house, and I think I've listed all mine up for about 50 gold. You can use these, you know, people will buy this and use this fish, it's got a sell rate of 6, to get their cooking up to 300. Another one which I can use is this grilled squid, and this is the winter squid. And again, I've got some of those on the auction house as well. I've got 6 of those on the auction house. Now, both the yellowtail and the grilled squid, the winter squid, you can pick up from Tanaris. So I went down to this Gadget Zan, and I was fishing pretty much on the end of this pier as well, just fishing down there for those fish. That got me up to about 280, 290. And again, as I said, you know, it's really good, you know, if you've got a spare bit of time and you want to try and, you know, work on your cooking or make a little bit of money and you've got your fishing right up, that was quite good. So hopefully they will sell as well. And then the other thing which I used was it this baked salmon? Yes, the baked salmon. Now, the raw white scale salmon, if TSM grabs the tooltip from that, that's the one I sold for 125 gold. Now the sell rate is 2.75, so it's not fantastic. But if people really want to work on their cooking, and you know we're now at the start of Shadowlands, people might look to try and work on all their professions. They might be looking to this, and now people probably can't be bothered to go and fish it themselves, so they're prepared to go and buy it. On my realm, there are 0. So I've suggested again, if you're watching this, you're interested in maybe making a little bit of money through fishing, have a look at this one, the white scale salmon. Now where I got that from was in Unguro Crater, and I went to this area over here where these sort of lakes are, and I kind of perched myself on a rock and kind of just fished in one of these. Now you get various types of salmon in there. You get the sun scale salmon, and you also get that white scale salmon, I believe it is, and I think you can use both of them. But there you go. So yeah, the poached sun scale salmon is not as expensive, and I worked on that, but that goes green before you get to level 300. But that baked salmon, for the white scale salmon there, that will push you up to 300 quite comfortably. So again, it might be something off recording that I go and get another sort of 50 of these, because I haven't got any more left. I used all mine up with the exception of one which I threw on the auction house, and it is sold for 125, which is great. So anything else in terms of a recap? In terms of equipment, I haven't bought anything. So we've still got the same equipment which we were using at level 29, and that's all equipped. I haven't bothered getting anything else, so that's great. We've covered professions. We haven't got any more mounts, and obviously in terms of the gold, we're now up to a very healthy 168,000, and that's after spending 10,000 on that thundering ruby cloud serpent, which are now listed for 12,000. So we'll see how we go with that. I'm in no real rush to learn it. I might throw it on a couple of times. If I do sell it for 12 grand, after the auction house cut, that will give me a 1,400 profit. The next cheapest is on there for 15 grand. So I think it's pretty good. Anyway, that's not why we're here and why we're not recording. What we're going to do is carry on, try and finish as much of Duskwallow Marsh as possible today. So let's speak to Krog. And we need to hand in return to Krog. He actually said that the Grim Totems are his biggest customers. I think this is a guy who we met in Ratchet. Mozan gave us more help than he knows. With this much pointing towards the Grim Totems, I think we have just found our first suspects. So we get 949 experience for that. Okay, so we've got 2 more quests from him. We've got more than coincidence. We've gleaned as much as we can from the ruins of the inn. I'm concerned about where the investigation will lead us from here, but we must know the truth. Between the hoof prints and the shield with Mozan's mark, I'm led to believe that the Grim Totems may have been involved. They recently established a settlement in the swamp, Blackhoof Village to the northeast. Travel to Blackhoof Village and search for more arms of Mozan's manufacture. So we need to collect 7 Blackhoof armaments from Blackhoof Village. From that we get a ring, which is quite ironic as we're a jewel crafter. And that ring isn't as good as what we've got already, but we'll take it anyway, despite the higher item level. And we've got the Grim Totem plot. With the activities of the Grim Totems and Thousand Needles brought to light, many Tauren now regard them with suspicion. We've seen high-ranking Grim Totems engage in murder and kidnapping to advance their interests, and I fear we may become their next target. Blackhoof Village to the northeast, which is where we're going, near Bluefen, is a large new Grim Totem settlement. Their leaders, the Elders, will all have orders from Thunderbluff. See if you can capture the orders and place them together to learn the Grim Totem's plans. So we've got to collect 4 Grim Totem nodes from Grim Totem Elders and combine them to form the full Grim Totem battle plan for 1,800 experience. You can kind of see now we're up to level 34 and we're kind of out of sync now with the zone we're in due to the fact we went and got all the ore. The experience isn't as great, so we're probably going to catch back up again. We're not going to rush too far off ahead. Okay, that's all that done. Now clearly we can fly there, so let's click on that. Number 8, and let's go and get ourselves over there. The other thing I've been trying to keep on top of as well is like the daily cooking and fishing quests from Thunderbluff. So I have done them for sort of the last couple of days, and that'll be something I look to continue whilst we're still kicking around. Whilst we're still looking to kick around Kalimdor, that'll be something I look to continue because we do get like the tokens for that and potential in the fishing bag to get some pets, bits and pieces. So I'll continue to do that. It does give us a little bit of experience, but not a great deal. Okay, so we're nearly on top of it now. Let's look for somewhere safe to fly and land, probably in the village. So we need Blackhoof armaments, which I'm guessing must be... Okay, so I've just seen there, you can't see it because my camera's covering it. The auction, your Reigns of a Thundering Ruby Cloud Serpent is just sold for 12,000. So the one I bought half an hour ago, which I bought for someone in trade chat and I actually flew up to Wargrim to get it, bought for 10,000. I've sold that for 12,000. So you'll see that in the mailbox, probably on the next recording. Okay, so here's the armaments right up in the northern part of this village. So let's go and land over here somewhere. We need to make sure we've got our Void Walker out. Let's dismount. He should be around. He is. However, Nurgle has decided he's not there, so let's get him out. Okay, it's one armament. Okay, so we need some keys. I didn't see another quest up here. Now, these guys, these Grim Totem Breakers are level 30. I'm level 34 now. So it should mean that this fighting should be a bit easier. Although, of course, our gear is several low levels. We're not killing them that quickly, are we, really? It's about the same as before, as we haven't upgraded the gear. Okay, so that's 2 of 7. We don't need any more of these breakers. I see a treasure chest in here. I think there's at least two. I've seen at least two in here. There's probably one on the left hand side as well. One finds. Let's just put him down. Let's get that breaker. Drops on him. Okay, so that's up to Grizzly Trophy 98 and 99. So I can't remember what it was from the last recording. But you can clearly see we haven't done that. You know, I haven't been going around killing most of the species. We still haven't actually done that. To be honest, I don't actually know if Dark Moon is still on. I need to check. Okay, let's give our Void Walker a bit of our health. Okay, he looks like he's asleep. Can we get to this chest? See what we get from inside this. So we get the Forest Tracker Epaulets, which are a leather shoulder equipment, bind to an equip. Okay, let's go and grab this armament here. Can we reach this one? Where's the rest of the armaments? Now I don't know what we're supposed to be doing with this cage thing. We haven't got any keys, unless that's another quest. What we got up here, we've got number 1 now, which is the armaments. I thought there was something where we had to go and... What's these notes for? Combine 4 Grim Totem notes into the Grim Totem battle plans. That's the other one. I think they were from the Elders. We've got a lot of quests we still need to get through in this zone actually before we can think about heading elsewhere. Okay, that's another Elder, and that's another Grim Totem. No, we don't need the breakers. Okay, so we've got an armament there and we've got an armament there. We've got a Spirit Shifter in there, who as soon as we get anywhere near, will run towards us, so let's just kill him. That Elder's walking around the path towards us, getting gold very shortly. Let's just grab him as well, as he's on the Eco notes. Yeah, I've noticed, you know, before the pre-patch, if you were a few levels higher, then you would, you know, be quite clearly stronger than some of these other mobs. But, you know, I'm 4 levels on these guys here, and, you know, they're green to me. I'm not killing them that quickly. So clearly gear and you know, item enhancements such as you know, enchants and the likes are, you know, very, very important. Okay, so that's a few mobs killed there. 3 in fact. Got another page. Let's grab that armament. Let's grab this one. And let's grab this one. There's an Elder there. I can grab him. I think we needed 4 of these. We'll check in a second. Okay, that's him killed, and that's 4 of them. Okay, so I think that's it. I don't know what all those guys in the cages were, unless that's another follow-on quest. We can hand this in. So let's fly back to Brackenwall Village. Again, hell of a lot easier now as soon as you can fly, and it would be a top tip. As soon as you can get up and start flying around, crack on and do it, because it does make things, you know, I'm not tripping on the, you know, over all these crocodiles in these swamps at this stage. Let's go and hand these two in. They're both from Krog.
What do you need?
Okay, so more than coincidence. What did your search of Blackhoof Village reveal? Here's your 7 armaments. Krog inspects the weapons and armour you brought from Blackhoof Village. This is unmistakably the work of Mozart. Questioning him further may draw too much attention, but we have a bit of freedom in dealing with the Grim Totems. So we get that bulk standard ring, which is no good to us. The Grim Totem plot, where you're able to find any trace of the orders. Here we go, here's the battle plan. Krog reads over the battle plan. There's no doubt in my mind the Grim Totems are moving against the humans. What I don't understand is that their intentions are towards us. We knew nothing of these plans. We lost a good man because of it. I don't trust that we're not next on their list. So we get our 1,800 experience. And we get another one. Seek out Tabitha. The arms you captured in Blackhoof Village have not seen any combat beyond mere training exercises, which means the Grim Totems who destroyed the Shady Rest are still at large. To the south, in the heart of the Quagmire, lives the witch Tabitha. We've met her already. Though she is a human, she has dealt honourably with us and trained some of our mages. Ask her for assistance in tracking down the band of Grim Totem responsible for burning the inn. The Alliance must not be allowed to think we're complicit in the attack. So speak with Tabitha at her farm in the Quagmire. Which again, we know exactly where that is because we've been there. So let's go back down to... that's that one. Let's go and do number 1 first, the Marsh Venom, because that's the closest one to us. In fact, no, let's go and do the Tabitha one first and just get that out of the way with. Let's mount up. Everything, all the quests seem to be stemming from her farm. So we have a quick look. She's in the middle there and everything else is around, so we can probably... you know, if we're wandering around Tabitha's farm, find some of the other ones we need to do. But we still have a lot to do anyway. What's these guys? Okay, we don't need any of these noxious reavers. Okay, so we do need some of these guys, these shredders. That's the Marsh Venom one, so let's go and get some of them. As we can see them. Okay, one done. Let's give our Voidwalker a bit of life. Let's grab this second one. Because we have got so many quests, you know, it's very likely we're going to see things, not when we're looking for things specifically. So if we do see something which we need, it is probably worth just sort of interrupting what we're going to be doing and kind of working on them all together. We've obviously read all the quests out already. It's just a case of getting through these now. Okay, so nothing from them. These spiders seem to have a Marsh Venom as well, the Dark Fang Creepers. And clearly we're working on Grizzly trophies as well. Okay, so we've got some Marsh Venom from them. Is Dark Moon still on at the moment? Okay, so Dark Moon finishes tonight. There's a noxious shredder through there. Grab him. Okay, so that's 2 of 6. Oh, we don't need the crocodile. Do need that one though. We've got Chronicles on this as well. Don't know where he came from. Let's go and kill him as well. Another one to add to the Grizzly trophy stack. Again, not too much in terms of damage being dealt here. Let's complete that. Another Marsh Venom. It's 3 of 6. Bit more health. none from that one. Again, you can see because you know they are now 4 levels below me, I'm not getting a great deal of experience of these. These are like 200 a pop, and each level I've got like 55,000. So I dare say until we move into the next zone we're going to go into after we finish this area, the experience bar really isn't going to go up too much, unless of course you know I do like another hour, 2 hours to mining, trying to get some more. But I think we're fairly sort of squared away now for ore and bits and pieces. The mining will just take care of itself, I dare say, next time we kind of look for some thorium or maybe arcane crystals. But that will probably just be done naturally through trying to make some gold, as in I'm farming for arcane crystals to sell. Okay, so let's head to Tabitha now, because I seem to run out of those noxious shredders. Okay, going to swoop down here. Got about 100 yards to go. Can we see anything else we need en route? No, we can't. So here's Tabitha. Hello again. We saw you the other day. Tabitha smiles slightly. Krog wishes me to scry for the Grim Totems, eh? Well, I have no need of magic in this case. It seems we have a mutual enemy. The Grim Totems have built an outpost nearby and are a constant thorn on our side of me and my students. 900 experience of that. Raise Direhorn post. There's no scrying necessary to see the trouble in my new neighbours are creating. Now, this is a band that burned down the Shady Rest Inn, as you claim. There's no reason to tolerate their presence any longer. Take this torch and raise their camp to the ground. You'll find Direhorn just to the north of my farm, near the road. You can't miss it. Really, as the Grim Totems have done a splendid job of announcing their presence with those totems they favour. So the objective of this quest is to use Tabitha's torch to burn the north tent, the east tent and the northeast tent at Direhorn post. So let's go and do that. 1,800 experience. Now I think in terms of experience of the last quest we were doing, well, we was kind of around that level that we needed to be. I think we were more in like a 3,000 to 5,000 mark. So yeah, it is very noticeable. Again, we'll try and fly a little bit low. If we see any of these like shredders, noxious shredders that we need, we might sort of swoop down and kind of grab them. We don't need that one. We don't need any of these. Okay, so let's fly up here. Okay, so we do need to kill these Grim Totem Destroyers. He is not PvP, so that's not a problem. So let's come and start killing some of these, as we need to kill these anyway. And this is quest number 3, Direhorn Raiders. Again, just adds to that Grizzly Trophy pile, which we need. Okay. That's 1 of 12. Again, it's really easy, like when you got to get kills rather than like letting them drop stuff, because you just know what you need. He stunned us. Okay, unexpected. Puts him down with life. That's 2 of 12. So the gauges want to range. Like instant cast Shadow Bolt, which is nice. Just finishing with a bit of Drain Life. And that's a quarter of our way through this already. Okay, now I dare say when we go and burn these tents down, we're going to be tripping over these destroyers. So let's head to the tents, get that objective done first, kill whatever we need to, and then we can pick up any more of these Grim Totem Destroyers when we finish. Tents aren't a million miles away. In fact, I think that's straight ahead of me. Okay, so that's halfway through killing these destroyers. Are we roughly in the right area? Do we actually need to be in the tent? Okay, near enough to the tent. that this Grim Totem Earthbinder actually does damage as well. So let's kill him. Job done. Is there any treasure or anything in there? No, there isn't. Okay, is there another one in this tent? No, there isn't. So let's burn this one down. That's the northeast tent done, which means we've got one left, which is the north tent. So again, if you're doing this quest yourself, just be wary that there are some of these Grim Totems hiding inside the tents. And as you can see, I've got this Earthbinder I'm killing at the moment. But I've also got a Destroyer who snuck up behind me. So if you're going to go in at pretty much the same level as what these guys are, and you're not really good gear, just maybe take it a bit more cautiously. Because there does seem to be a lot of mobs around this area. And these destroyers can stun you, while the Earthbinders look like they, will tie you down. So let's burn this one down. Okay, so that's that one done. Now we still need 3 more of these Grim Totem Earthbinders, destroyers. To get 3 more of these killed. Okay, that's 10 to 12. Is this something we need to be doing as well? Got so many at the moment. No, number 3 is down here. That's fine. I can see we've got another quest on this map, you see. That looks like number 2. And we've got number 1 up here. That's a marsh venom. That's fine. Okay, so this one should be the last one of the Direhorn Grim Totems we need to kill as part of the Direhorn Raiders quest. And there we go. Let's kill this totem if we can. Loot the body. Okay, so that's that done. So what we got next. So we've still got the marsh venom. We've got this one here, which is Dead Maya's Tooth. So let's go and do that. Now I think that's the quest we picked up in Thunderbluff, wasn't it? There was one of them which we were after a rare in this area. So let's go and see if we can find, I think it was supposed to be a crocodile or something. Let's see if we can find him. Okay, so we're in the area. Where is he? That's not him. Okay, absolutely no sign of this crocodile we're supposed to be killing. Unless it is one that just spawns, periodically. That's not him. Okay, so we'll skip that one for now. Let's go back to Talitha and hand. How many have we got to hand in there? We got 2 to hand in, which are the Grim Totems. Okay, so Apprentice Morlan wanted us to do Direhorn Raiders, and he nods in appreciation. Good, can't say I'll miss the company, if you can call it that. You'd think at least in the middle of a swamp you'd get some privacy, So we get the Direhorn Kinch, which is better than what we've got already, a 13% upgrade. So let's complete that. We've got a 1,800 experience. Let's equip this. Now it says it's a 2% upgrade from what we had before, so let's equip it anyway. It's an upgrade is an upgrade. That ring we know definitely isn't an upgrade. Okay, and he hasn't got anything else for us. Let's go back and find Tabitha.
Light be with you.
Have you put that torch to good use? We certainly have. Here you go. The Grim Totem should have no trouble understanding our latest message. As for you, your contact at Brackenwall Village will want to know of your success. If I know him, he'll appreciate the test of vengeance. So again, 1,898. Now, we get another quest called Justice Dispensed. I doubt the Grim Totems will give up their campaign to drive humans from the marsh. Though I get the impression you probably don't mind that. At least we have dealt with the perpetrators of the crimes at the Shady Rest Inn. Go tell your leader that his vengeance has been sated. So return to Krog at Brackenwall Village, and we'll be able to choose between 2 weapons. The first is the Battlecaster's Edge, which is a one-handed intellect sword, which gives us plus 24 int, plus 6 stamina. The second of which is the Staff of Memory, which is 37 int and 13 stamina, which again, neither of those is better than what we've got already. But let's accept a quest anyway. It's fairly straightforward, just to go and fly to Brackenwall Village. Okay, so let's mount up and have a look what we've got now. So we've got the Brackenwall Village quest, which we'll probably go and do now. In fact, we'll go and do inspecting the ruins first, then we'll go up to Brackenwall Village, and then we can still look to come back down here again in a bit. That seems like the most obvious way to go. If we see any of these marsh venom creatures, we'll grab them as well. Like that one. The Noxious Shredders. We can do that quest as well on the way. That would be perfect. Okay, another Grizzly Trophy. No venom, unfortunately, from that one. So we're still on 3 of 6 for that. Again, we're going to stay flying low, just in case we see something which we can use. Did that spider? Do these spiders have venom? He does. Okay, so we got some venom from that one. That's 4 of 6. We're heading in the right direction. Kind of zigzag our way through the trees again. Here's one, Noxious Shredder. That's him dealt with. Again, unluckily no venom. I did see there's a couple in here. Let's fight our way through these. Okay. We got venom from that one. We need one more. He's a big old spider. Let's grab him. And in terms of Grizzly Trophies, I think they said we're up to 129 now out of 250. I think we're going to be hard pushed to get through all the kills today. Okay, we didn't get anything from that one. We're going to get one from this one. We don't. That's a bit unlucky. We've killed quite a few of these now already. These creatures are supposed to drop this. So we can get one more before we leave this little bubble where they're supposed to be. If we don't, it's not too much of a problem, I suppose. Was that a spider there? It is. Let's try this one. And we finally get our last marsh venom. So I believe we need to hand that in at Is it Brackenwall we need to do that? I can't actually see where we need to do that. We'll hand that one into. Let's mount back up again. Okay, so let's go and inspect the ruins again, which is what we need to go and do. Just tuck around here on the left hand side. Okay, and this is it. This is a guy we spoke to when we first moved into the zone. This inspector who told us to get lost. Inspector Taram.
Well met.
The inspector regards you what can only be disdain and distrust. No change here then. Leave this place, be errand boy, or I'll be sure to bring a contingent of guard with me next time to sink the lesson home.
Light bless you.
So is that it? Is that what we needed to do? Okay, fair enough. Now we still have this quest. Use the captured totem, set it on the ground and kill 10 mottled crocolisks. Okay, so we do need to go and kill some of these crocodiles at some stage, but we won't be doing that straight away. So let's get ourselves back to Brackenwall Village. We've got that one to hand in, and we get the choice of weapon. We'll probably go for the staff just in case it is an up. You know, we get a rare upgrade on that. But again, without the secondary stats, it's not going to be as good as what we've got already. But nor should it be. You know, the fact that we're now level 34 and we're still in effectively a level 30 zone. Again, you kind of have to balance out that some of the gear you're going to be picking up is going to be below par because we should have better stuff in this anyway. Okay, and here we go. Back to Krog, who we've handed about 50 quests in so far. Justice dispensed. Krog listens to your report. I'm impressed, Sovik. I would have thought that the Grim Totem criminals would have been more difficult to locate. The Alliance are truly incompetent. You can say that again. In truth, I just sought to answer the death of one of my men, but this situation has been more fortunate than expected. If the Grim Totem choose to retaliate, it will likely be against the Alliance. Perhaps we will soon have the manpower to drive the scum from these shores once and for all. So we'll go for the Staff of Memory. We should get both of these appearances anyway. We actually get 31 gold from that quest, which is probably enough to buy a weapon, which does work for us. And there we go. So we've got the achievement progression, a connection to the Grim Totem, which is the 4th, and the next one we need in the Dusk Wallow Marsh quest line. So we're now 4/7 of the way through, 3 left to go. So we're making progress through there. We get the Staff of Memory, which, as expected, is not as good as what we've got. In fact, ours is 25% better already. Okay, so I think at that point, what I'm probably going to do is, I think that's a natural pause to this recording. We'll wrap things up there. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully people aren't going to mind who are watching this series that there has been a jump in the levels. It was always going to happen, and what I'm not, you know, I don't think it's going to be a great deal of interest me flying around Thunderbluff collecting copper ore or iron ore, etc. You know, that's not going to make for particularly great viewing. So again, things like that, I'll just carry on doing off recording. Now clearly, when we get up to maximum level, which at the moment is still level 50, you know, me flying around doing some sort of mining, gold making on that sense, isn't really going to make a dot of difference. It just means that we put a few levels on. In terms of the future, what we're going to do is we're probably going to get to level 35 by completing all this sort of stuff. We're about halfway through 34 at the moment. Let's say we're level 35. That gives us effectively a couple of options here of where we're going to go to next. Now, initially I was going to go to Outland and go and do some stuff there, but Outland only goes up to level 35 anyway. In fact, 35? It looks like it only goes up to level 30 anyway. Yeah, up 10 to 30. And that's going to be, Draenor is 10 to 40. That's if we want to go and do the garrison. So that's a potential. We could go and put 5 levels on around Frostfire Ridge. So that is a very, you know, a very strong contender. The other option I think we go and do, you know, Northrend is now below us. Pandaria at 35 is remarkably already below us at level 35. The other option we've got is either the Broken Isles, which I'm not particularly keen on, or going into Zandalar and doing some quests around here. So it's probably, at the moment, balance is probably going to be one of the two. It's either going to be going to Zuldazar and start doing some quests in there, and then going to the sort of garrison afterwards when we get to maximum level, or it's going to be going and doing the garrison first and then going to Zandalar afterwards. So I just need to work out which I fancy doing, but it'll be one of those two. You know, we're already, when we get to level 35, beyond the cataclysm zones anyway, from 30 to 35. So it just shows, you know, how the new level experience goes. So again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the content, and until next time, goodbye.